Nikki Burnett, Taste Life Nutrition Radio, streaming live on KUHSdenver.com, having the best time and the best radio and the best guests on earth, and loving every minute of it. What are we about? We're about truth in healthcare, truth in self and awareness, and in life, and in relationships, and in mental and emotional health, and all of the things that are important to make this life as big and as bold and as beautiful as we possibly can. And we want to bring to you the people and the opportunities and the businesses that are out there doing amazing things, creating amazing goodness for people who can use their services or their light or their guidance or whatever the case may be. So for me personally, as a functional nutritionist, I work with people who deal with chronic situations or fertility issues, essentially. But that's my world. And so I love it when I learn who I am introduced and meet people who are really outside of that world, but still have very much the same light, I think, as I do, who want to be a light in the world and a light for people and a guide. So today we have the amazing Jennifer Urezzio, who was supposed to be on a few months ago, and there was an ankle break, right? Poor thing. How's your ankle?
Oh, it's all healed. It's all great.
Oh, goodness.
You know, it aches when it rains. I know it's going to rain before anyone else does. But, yeah, it was, that was a bit of a morning.
Oh.
You know, 5:30, taking the dog off, and I've never broken anything.
Oh, goodness.
And so I was like, well, I heard it crack, and I was like, oh, my God, the pain. I was like, wait, I think I might faint. Is this what fainting is like?
Oh, no.
And then I, walked the 3 flights of stairs up, got dressed, walked the three flights of stairs down, and drove my own self to the hospital because nobody was home but me.
Oh, no.
And then I stopped being in fear and flight, and I was like, oh my God, I can't get out of the car because I'm in so much pain.
Oh, no.
It was an experience, and I think it opened up my receiving in such new ways. So all said and done, I'm kind of glad I broke my ankle.
That is, I talk about this a lot, and I think a lot of people have this same view as you do, is we go through these horrifying, terrible, crazy experiences, but what comes out of it is so often the most amazing, beautiful thing. You're like, that sucks because I don't want to hurt and all of the things. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things, is looking back, and not for, you know, a lot of people look back in regret, and that's not what I want to say. I think that that's not a healthy place to be, but looking back in understanding is well, it's really beautiful. It really is. So good for you. I want to hear a little bit about what you've learned here in a little bit. I think that would be pretty cool if we have the time and if you are willing to share. I think that would be fun. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, as always, we start the show with gratitude. Gratitude can change the world. Yes, that sounds simplistic or silly. That's fine. But if you take the time every morning to be grateful for the things that you have, we all have things to be grateful for, or morning and evening, or evening, whatever it is that works best for you, we can make things good. We can make things better. We can make big, massive changes. And so I start my day with gratitude, and today, you know, this week has been, for me, so full of gratitude, and Jennifer, we talked about this a little bit, but actually, I'm jumping ahead. I want to let you go first, and then I can talk about my own gratitude. Look at me hogging the mic.
It's your show, you should hog the mic.
So, Jennifer, what are you grateful for?
You know, I've always been like this warrior nature, and I've always not really felt like I've had a real community. And over the past couple of years, I realized how much community I have, and I'm really grateful for that. And you know, sometimes I forget, and I think I'm this lone wolf, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so today is really there's been several experiences today that was like, wow, I'm so grateful for this community that I've created, that I've received. And it's all sorts of community, client community, friend community, resource community, support teams, you know?
Yeah.
When I broke my ankle, I had community from the dog park literally take my dog to the park.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I couldn't climb those stairs, right? And that's huge. So I'm really grateful for community.
Yeah, I love that. And I was taking a peek at your website, and I saw your list of resources that you have in there, and most of the names I recognized, which was really fun for me. I was like, oh, I know her, and I know her. But it is this amazing thing, especially when you have some intentionality, I think, behind it, which is what I've learned to do as I've grown, is to be intentional about who I build my community with. And I think it's, you want those who are there to lift you and who you can lift. And so often we can get stuck in these patterns where we're brought down, which then kind of creates that vicious cycle of just bringing each other down and grabbing feet and pulling, and it just is so, it can be just kind of a yucky place to be. And just like you said, sometimes you do feel, I work in my office by myself for the most part, and sometimes you do feel that lone wolf. And then when I have something, if I need to discuss a case, or get input, or if I need a business question or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, I know exactly who to go to, right? So it is a beautiful thing. Community is amazing. So great, good for you. For me, and as most of you know, because I keep talking about it, because it's my birthday month. This is the last day of my birthday month. But I turned 50 on the 15th, and the week after that, took a trip to St. Augustine, Florida. If you've not been there, it is fabulous and beautiful and fun and cooler than I expected it to be. Not as much tan, coming back with a tan like I expected to. But I was surrounded by people who love me, which I was like, oh, it's this cool thing, because I, of course, love all of them dearly. And they took the time, this was about 18 people throughout the week who took their time and energy and money to come to fly across the country to hang out with me and celebrate and have a lot of fun. And so the gratitude that I have for the friendships that I've developed it really was a little bit, even as I told you about this a minute ago, Jennifer, is a little bit overwhelming as I sat there at this table watching everybody having fun and this massive group of people surrounding me, and I literally choked up. And then my husband's best friend says, Nikki, why don't you say something? Because he could see that I couldn't speak. And I was like, just stop already. It was really funny. But it was amazing and so much fun, and so grateful for the people that I've been blessed with in my life, whether it's friendships, business community, healthcare community. It's been a hell of a ride, that's for sure. So so much gratitude, and just grateful to God for all of it. We go through the tough, and if we don't go through the tough, we don't know the good, and there's so much good. So. Yay. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to start at the show as we typically do, and I love for people to give some insight as to who and why and what they are. And all of that is, what brought you to this place you're at. What, any struggles you want to share, but what it is that you do, how you help people, and why. And what gets you excited, what makes you happy. Anything that you want to share.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So I started out in marketing and PR because I came out of art school and I was like, what am I going to do with this freaky little photography degree? I was really good at my job, and I really tell them the truth. And
Oh,
how I know, but I know I can do that. It puts tangibility to soul to consciousness. And that's connected to whatever you call your higher power. In 2008. And it's a fun time. For 15 minutes, and we're like, wow. Really fast because time again,
yeah.
just because we're so that's what I'm all
how interesting. Essential oils and what?
life purpose.
Life purpose. And here you are. And if you have, I would tell anybody to go to Jennifer's website, because it's a cool website with lots and lots of resources, and we'll post it in the comments, and you know well let's go ahead and just say what it is. It's just Jennifer. What is your website?
It's soullanguage.us.
Okay, great. So don't leave the show yet. Go to it after the show, but or if you can multitask, that's fine too. I do that a lot. But it is full of amazing stuff. And what I love is you are speaking to the person, the professional, the you know what it is that we all want to strive to be in, whatever that is, right? And you know, I think that we can't separate the personal and the professional if we are, you know, business people or entrepreneurs. But I love that about what you do. And so I think my first question that I want to get into is, what is soul language? I mean, as basic as it is, let's talk about that.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. Human beings love words, and we love a structure. And so we need words to put what we know deep down inside. So what soul language does is it gives words to 3 core energies of your soul. Your mission, how you fuel that mission, and then your soulful personality. And why do you want that? Because you already know it, but you don't have that human structure to really create a deeper connection. So when you have the words, what you know deep down inside, that allows you to create a conscious connection. And in understanding your soul languages, I can give a one-liner to every soul on this planet. And what that does is that becomes your mild marker of consciousness. If you're not being and doing that, you're creating struggle. So I'll give you a tangible example. So my one-liner is I create balance for myself, because it all starts at home, and then for others, with love, integrity, and courage. So at the beginning of my business, I would, because I'm warrior energy, so I could work 15-hour days, right? So I'm working 15-hour days, and at one point I'm hysterically crying at my desk. and I tune into my soul, and that part of me that's called the equalizer, which is all about my mission, right? That's about really being balanced, that perfect formula of balance when you have no balance. How do you imagine to receive if all you're doing is pushing? And at that moment, there was such freedom because I could act, the human could get on board and go, oh wait, I can give myself permission to stop. I can give myself permission to be still. I can be balanced and get what I want. And it was a huge moment. So I shut off my computer and I went about my business, and the next day, like a whole bunch of opportunities were at my feet because I stopped pushing the energy and really stepped in the flow. Another really tangible example is my business energy, which can be identified as well, is much different than my personal energy. The business energy is still and loving and compassionate, and I'm like, let's get it done, right?
Right.
And so I'm in the shower yelling at my business energy, like, where are my people? Where are my clients? And blah, blah, blah. And the business went, go to the beach. I was like, oh no, I got things to do. I got programs to send out. People, go to the beach. And I was like, fine. And I just put all my stuff in the bag, went to the beach, had a great day, came back, and there was 3 new clients in my inbox. Right? So when people have this structure to put what they know deep down inside, they can allow the mind, the human, to follow the heart. And that allows you to be in the flow. That allows you to create what you want. That allows you to bend the universe and declare what you want instead of going against the grain that so many people do.
It's true, and I think that the way that you just made it so relatable, at least to me, but I think you really made it relatable to everybody. A quick story is, being on vacation, you then have to make up for being on vacation. And so I intentionally, I had clients I needed to see, and I booked back to back to back to back. And so, but there are of course things in the business that I needed to get done too. And so my husband left the house, and it was about 6 o'clock, and I was a little bit tired. I think still a little hungover from just the flight and being gone and having fun and not thinking and all of the things. And I thought, okay, I'm going to finish this one thing. And then I thought, no, I can do this one more thing. And I did this one more thing consistently till 10 o'clock. And I got stuff done. But then I thought, and I told my husband that. He's like, you're an animal and you're crazy. And, he was like, this is really not okay. But I kept like, one more thing. It's easy, it's simple. Because the more I get done now, the more I can get done tomorrow, and the more I can get done the next day. And
there's always more to do.
There is.
There's always more, right? And so I think so often people are trying to they're trying to get in order to be. That's not the equation, right? It's be, which is a conscious level, do a little, because we're in charge of very little doing, even though we think we are in charge of a lot, and then have, right? So many people don't know how to co-create with the universe, which is, hey, I'm following the next divinely inspired action, and the universe is bringing all the parts to me instead of me thinking that I have to bring all the parts to me. Every time I let go of attachment of how it all's going to work out, amazing stuff happens. But it's an ongoing practice between my humanness and my soul. Right? It's not a like, oh, I've done it, and now I said it, and it's going to operate like that continuously. No. Like, if you want to create a life of freedom, then you get to really practice it and connect and decide what choice you're making. Are you making it from a place of wholeness and completeness or a place of scarcity?
Yes, and I think most people are doing it from a place of scarcity.
Oh yeah, there's a whole war right now.
Oh my
because
gosh,
some guy is scarce, right? Like that, I mean, that's an extreme example, right? But really, let's look at, and for people who've been on the path for a while, it's really sneaky, right? I remember, I was in Florida, like 20 years ago, visiting my mom's sisters with my mom, and we were all out to dinner. with a whole bunch of their friends. And the guy put bread on the table, and I watched the bread come around. I was like, oh my God, there's not going to be enough bread. Oh my God, there's not going to be enough bread. And I paused. I was like, what am I doing? All we have to do is ask for more bread. But it was such a in my face. I'm doing it there. How am I doing it all of these other places?
So interesting.
Right? Yeah. And that's the moment where we get to tune in and ask our soul, okay, so how do we break this pattern? How do we nurture something new? What do we get to open up to know that we are worthy, that there's always enough? Mm-hmm. And that's an ongoing conversation. And I think it's way past meditation. I think so often people meditate and they're not engaging in a conversation with themselves and their higher power consciously.
Mm-hmm. So it was kind of going right along the same lines as you when you said that, is how can you, and I know that this, like you said, it's an ongoing conversation, and you can't talk about all of the things that you do and how you help people in this 1 hour, and I know there's a lot to it. But are there strategies or tips or things when you say tune into your consciousness, tune into your soul? I mean, it's like, I hear you, but I don't understand you.
Yeah, I get it. Not a problem. So, first of all, the simplest thing people want to do every day is to make sure that they're grounded both earth and sky, right? And so it's simple. Divine intelligence, which is your body, align me earth and sky. And then you can just tune into your heart and simply go, what do I need to know today? That's the most simple and complex question you can ask. And I always say, okay, make some notes, right? What do I need to know today? It could be as simple as bring an umbrella. And you're like, but wait, it's sunny out. No, just bring an umbrella, right? Uh-huh. Or it could be something even more bigger, like, understand that you're whole and complete, right? But make some notes, and at the end of the day, go back and go, I heard this, and this is how it played out. So you can start to understand how your soul is speaking to you, right? It's about tuning into your heart. It's about listening for those leadings of soul. And they're going to sound not like the hamster wheel, right? Mm-hmm. Not like your mind, not like fear, right? Some of it is going to be really whispery, right? Until you have to hear it and it gets so loud, or you put yourself in a situation where you're forced to hear it. That's usually happens when people get sick or, right? Sure. So, but just start to listen, just pause. The best time to do this also, if you want to establish a new connection or deeper connection with your soul, is to do it in the shower. Ask a question, go take a shower, and let it pop, because your mind is busy. The water's flowing, that's connectivity, it's flow and energy, right? And then you're gonna pop, here's something. So start to play with it, right? You don't want it. I think so often people fall into the trap of, well, I'm not getting visuals. Well, you might not be getting visuals because that's not the database that your soul is speaking to you through, right? My soul gives me references for Star Trek and cartoons. Why? Because I love that stuff and I get those references, right? So, learn to understand how your soul is speaking to you. That's the first thing. And make sure it's not life and death here, right? This is something to play with. You're something to build the muscle around. Start to enjoy it. And so often people will go, it's not your mind. Take this leap.
So when you is I understand that you said it's beyond meditation, so it's the best thing in the world. We talked about fine. It is. It's I rarely make the time in being still. So sit back.
You need to be connecting in when they're talking with their clients, they're ready. It is business. You want to have that conversation with your soul and go, hey, what am I holding on to? What am I going to carry into the next day? That should be done, should in quotes, be done when you do your gratitude, right? Because if you're holding on, if you have attachment and you keep carrying it on, it becomes like some sedimentary rock. And so then you're building on a foundation that's cracked. So those are a couple ways to start to play. I'm only see when I'm disconnected now rather than connected. Meaning, like, I'll go, oh, I feel a little icky, and then I reestablish my connection. Right? So you want to get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm feeling icky, let me reestablish my connection. Or, hey, I don't feel so good, or there's a block here, or that was really a situation where I didn't respond the way I wanted to. Let's reconnect and ask some questions. Your soul is your home base. And so by not utilizing it and having an time ago, me and my mom, back towards the wall. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, Mom, I don't know. Please just stand there. And we moved back. And this woman had taken she had 3 kids with her. She's taken all of her money for all of their monthly tickets and was putting it through the little slot. And these kids came by and grabbed it.
Oh.
And if we were there, we would have been trampled on.
Oh my goodness.
Right? That's about listening. So often we hear all of this stuff and we don't take action on it because our mind can't understand it. But when you're talking to your soul, you're also building up that trust. And so when you get that pop, you listen to it. And that makes your life a whole lot easier.
So amazing, because it's certainly a practice. And you know, we had our first conversation, we talked a lot about this, is, you know, it really is making the time and taking the intention to just do it, even if you have to set an alarm, or because these are things I have to write myself notes, set alarms, you know, whatever it is that works for you, but to start creating those habits of listening to yourself, because I'm getting better, me personally. In one of the things, I think we talked about this too, and I say this a lot, is, and I love it. I had a friend of mine is listening. So soul, but is that he is trying to say to me. And if by like, you know, the fight or flight, the crazy for too long. It can be calm. Life in fight or flight, and it yeah.
And you know, it's creating the fear in me. Answered it, right? And this is say right now that God you a big picture. And I think so forward from, you know, them from really understanding blah blah, right? Being who we are. By a bear at the moment.
And it is you know, God is not going to tell you hear those words. This is not God talking to you. It is you talking. Abandoning entirely. So I'm
The thing that there's a lot of metaphysical self-negative talk. We're trying to eradicate what do I want to do with that voice?
mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
It's my when you do this, like, let's do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Negative, the come up again. Right? And I think most people look at pain and suffering. Somewhere else. Okay, let's start again. And let's activate something new. Or gentle. Definition to show realizing that energy unconsciously. And then I can pause it and go, oh, someone who has languages in common. And she's like, are you? I was like, I business grows, so does right? The easiest
We've talked. They are backed by science. And when I say that, verbs with those are kind of the basics, even expression. Reach a lot of that. So, and I think I have pretty good resources. stuff out there and good people. I wrote down when or to the CEO that I wrote down, but are from your website. You're like, and we did talk about that, but it's vacuum and you things that you have on your website. Entrepreneurs is you have to go and
twice. I stopped playing tug to be successful. Back into everything, that's what you're going to get back. Mm-hmm. And we've all had that moment where we want to run screaming from the room, right? What I worked since 2008.
How business out of a talk and because that's what you want it to be. Because
this business. PR. Mm-hmm. I businesswoman, right? So I had great foundation. Mm-hmm. Call somebody or call somebody who knew somebody. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is site, and I have done going into business, most people, and then it falls flat because I also know that every business needs to have a board with little from the ground up, that they have to start large. It was the opportunity that was put in front of me. And really ask yourself, if I unless it's really in alignment. The gurus was like business avatar. It's actually talking to the or finding those systems, creating entertainment. It was your heart.
Is just go by what our mind is telling us and not take the as we just keep saying, you know, all is really what I mean, because I as a new good takeaway that and to question and
within to my soul and my heart. And my soul went, no. Living but he baby steps his way. The understanding what your big vision is, and
I just take care of it now. So I would
when I left my wallet. The refrigerator is blinking. The funny thing is, the woman was like, because
when you broke your
now at night, and my leg. And I just went crazy. Okay. Couldn't go down at 5 o'clock in the morning to walk. More stable. Really, I was. So it really opened up my receiving across the board. And I also
it's amazing.
where we can actually talk. Understand how powerful. So you know,
Thank you. For me, it just is, every time I talk to you, I have these constant implementing. Have more amazing discussions. You have really think about we are people who like to video streaming live on so tastelifenutrition.com. Give me some or if there are things for all kinds of bliss course that is so many I was like, I really try not to do that. And as always,